Shakespeare's birthday. Okay, I know I'm supposed to be a good opera singer and practice my music, but I just found out that today is Shakespeare's birthday. And it got me thinking about this old Riverside edition Shakespeare complete works that my mom gave to me on my 17th birthday when I had been performing a lot of Shakespeare. And she signed it to my beloved calf. May you play all the Juliets and Ophelias your heart desires. Now, I wish Mom had been my agent because I didn't actually get to play all of those heroines in Shakespeare. I usually got to play the goofy sidekick. But years later, I did get to play some of those famous Shakespearean heroines like Juliet and Lady Macbeth, Titania, Queen of the Fairies, Alice Ford. I just didn't do it as a stage actor, I did it as an opera singer. And that really got me thinking how much Shakespeare has completely pervaded our musical landscape. For the last 400 plus years, composers and librettists have been using Shakespeare's words and stories. So, I've got a little bit more time on my hands these days, and I thought I'd take a deep dive into the world of Shakespeare and music. And the best place I can think of to start is music inside of Shakespeare's plays. He actually set a lot of songs in his plays. And I honestly don't really know why. I mean, I'm not an expert, I'm a Shakespeare lover, but I kind of need help. I need a hotline. I need like a Shakespearean bat phone. So I think I'm going to find an expert to call and see if they can give me a little bit of their wisdom.
Oliver!
Hi.
It's so good to see your face.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you.
Gosh, I don't know how to thank you for being my first expert. You're my first Shakespeare hotline call.
Jeez, I got to introduce you to some people who know more.
No, I mean, I'm so delighted to speak with you. First of all, not only are you a longtime playwright and professor at the USC School of Dramatic Arts, but you actually are a librettist. You love opera. So, okay, so in honor of Shakespeare's birthday, April 23rd, I'm kind of exploring music in Shakespeare and music. So first, just paint us a picture. What is it like attending a play at the Globe during Shakespeare's time? Set the scene for us.
I think it was a little like going to a football game and maybe taking a crosstown bus to a football game. And I think that the touchdowns and the big plays and the hard hits were happening up on the stage. So it sounds to me a little bit like going to the Coliseum, maybe watching a USC-UCLA game.
Why is he including songs in his plays? Like, what's that about?
I just think because songs were in his life. I mean, that's why I put songs in my plays. I think songs are part of our lives and we're often very unaware of it. And I just think that the mix of prose and poetry is kind of deep in writers. And that, you write prose until you can write prose no more, at which point you move into something elevated. And particularly when your heart and your mind are going to something that matters, poetry fits better. So poetry for me is poetry.
So did he write his own music, or is he having other composers set his lyrics? How did that work?
It's up for grabs. Thomas Morley, I think is his name, was in the 1590s, was the musician known to have worked with Shakespeare. Music was just around. I mean, I think you didn't have to work with Beyonce. And so it's interesting that Shakespeare, I think, had more than one person to choose from, and very likely had the ability to make music himself.
Yeah, cool. And then, so the first two songs I'm looking at are Sigh No More from Much Ado About Nothing, and It Was a Lover and His Lass from As You Like It. What do you love about those plays? What sticks out for you?
It's fascinating that we think, I mean, who knows for sure, but we think they were written within the same year or two. We're talking 1599, 1600. Those are big years. And I was thinking about it in the last few days, and I realized both plays are very witty, but they're both about love. And it seems to me that it was very likely a time that Shakespeare was dealing with love. And of course, he was in all of his plays, but they're very, very front and center in these two plays. I think when you talk about As You Like It, you're talking about something pastoral. But when you go into the forest, you can fall in love. Now, you can also go hungry. He's realistic. He's not just romantic about it. But there's something very exciting about that play.
Thank you so much. I just couldn't have asked for a better first expert to join this little show. So I hope to see you again soon, and I hope you guys all stay healthy and well.
What a pleasure. Have a great time. It's a really great thing you're doing. All right. All love.
Bye.
Bye.
Our first song, Sigh No More, is from one of my absolute favorite Shakespeare plays, Much Ado About Nothing. Now, this setting was written by composer Patrick Doyle for the film version by Kenneth Branagh in the 90s, which is amazing, by the way. Let's all take a moment for Keanu Reeves. Now, the character of Balthazar sings the song as a good-natured warning to women never to put too much trust in men. The irony of this song in this comedy is that the whole plot centers around the supposed infidelity of young hero on the eve of her wedding. It's kind of hard being a lady in Elizabethan times. Or maybe any time.
Sigh no more, lady, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever, one foot on sea and one on shore, to one thing constant never. And sigh not so, but let them go and be alive and bonny, converting all your songs of woe into hey nonny nonny. Sing no more, ditty, sing no more of dumb, so dull and heavy, the fraud of men was ever so, since summer first was leafy. And sigh not so, but let them go and be alive and bonny, converting all your songs of woe into hey nonny nonny.
Our next song is perhaps one of the most famous of Shakespeare's. It Was a Lover and His Lass. This comes from the play As You Like It. Now, amazingly, we still have the original 17th century sheet music by Thomas Morley, who was a very famous contemporary of Shakespeare's. But this version is by Roger Quilter. Quilter was an English composer who wrote over 100 art songs, and he had a love of Shakespeare. This setting is from his 5 Shakespeare songs from 1921, in which he set songs from As You Like It, Measure for Measure, Cymbeline, and Twelfth Night. It Was a Lover and His Lass is a classic pastoral song, complete with Elizabethan hey nonny nonnies.
It was a lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, that o'er the green cornfield did pass in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing hey Ding-a-ding, ding, ding-a-ding, ding, sweet lovers love the spring. And therefore take the present time with a hey and a ho and a hey nomino, for love is crowded with a prime in the springtime, the only pretty time when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding, ding, ding-a-ding, ding, ding-a-ding, ding, sweet lovers love the spring.
Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of Shakespeare in music. I can't wait to keep looking at all the new music ahead of us. Next episode, we're going to be going right for the big one. Romeo and Juliet, what is the deal? Why is it so famous, so popular for so many centuries? We're going to be dropping new episodes every Thursday, so I hope you'll join us again for another episode of Shakespeare Sings. I'm Katherine Powers.